Welcome back to school.
Yeah.
Woo! Can you hear the sighs of relief of parents everywhere right now? Like as school after school comes back into session over the next few weeks. Oh my gosh. I remember being a kid, and about this time, actually about 2 weeks ago, I would have started nagging at my mom. I'm bored. What should I do? And she would come back inevitably, spit in your shoe. Go tell the teacher it's 2:30. And I'd be like, oh, really? I'm bored. And I know, like parents everywhere, she was praying, oh, please let these 2 weeks go really, really fast. So here we are, watching kids go back to school, but it's our opportunity to remember that we are in school every day. We're in spiritual school every day, and whether you got your doctorate degree, whether you graduated from high school and got a job, or went on to college, or quit school in 5th grade and went and worked on the farm for the rest of your life, you are in school. We've never left. We've never left. Our school looks a little different today than maybe it did when we were 10. Our physical school, our institutions have buildings. They've got that structure. Class starts at 8:30. There's a subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, subject 4. There's a structure to the day. There's a structure in the classroom. The teacher has prepared the lessons for the day. No teacher shows up at school and goes, gosh, I hope somebody learned something today. Wouldn't that be awesome if something cool happened? Although I could never be a teacher because I don't have the patience for that. But if I did, that would be my prayer. God, please let somebody just learn something today. Please. But we're in school every day. We don't have that structure, that outer structure, but we can create it for ourselves, right? Daily Word is an awesome thing to start our day. There's an affirmation, there's a little meditation around that, Bible verse to start the day, something to think about during the day. I saw a video on Facebook this week, and I mentioned it at the first service, but I don't remember who this was or where this gentleman was speaking, but it was some big military guy speaking to graduates of some kind, and he was telling them, when you go out into the world, do one thing. Make your bed every morning. You could hear everybody kind of laughing, like, what does this guy tell me to make my bed every morning? He said, because you are setting the intention for your day when you make your bed. You're getting up, you're saying, I'm ready for the day. I'm going to do my part. And here's the first place I'm starting. And then he said, which I thought was brilliant, if you don't do anything right for the rest of the day, you've made your bed. And you're going to go home and go, hey, I screwed up all those things today, but I made my bed. Good for me. What a way to start the day. And that's starting that intention, Kids, maybe they'll say the Pledge of Allegiance when they first start their day, and they know that kind of gets them in the mindset. Okay, we did that, we checked that off our list, and now we're flowing into the classroom schedule. We're flowing into the lessons. We're going to read, we're going to write, we're going to do math, we're going to not like doing math, whatever. We're going to do our part in our school day. So what's your structure? What's your spiritual structure for your spiritual school? Maybe you've got work that you have a schedule. You get there at 8 o'clock, and you've got these tasks to do, and these things to work on, and these people to meet with. There's structure there. There's structure. And in the midst, why is that structure so important? Because in the midst of that structure, the lessons are happening. In the midst of that structure, the work is getting done. But if we don't have that structure, then we're spending all of our mental and emotional energy trying to figure out the structure every day. It's like that person who's late for everything because they have to spend 20 minutes looking for their keys before they get out the door. And I'm lazy. I put my keys in the same spot every day because I don't have to worry about where I put them when I get home from work. I don't want to have to worry. I don't want to have to think about it. I don't want to have to go, okay, Lynn, where'd you put your keys this time? I did that on the way out the door this morning. I put my phone in my work bag instead of in my purse. So we're like halfway down the street, and I tell my son Jason, I think I forgot my phone. I looked in my purse, no phone. So we had to drive back, and I'm scrambling all over the house looking for the phone. Couldn't find it, so it's like, okay, it's somewhere, and it was in my purse. And then it's like, why did I put it there? I could have just put it in the same place I always put it, and then I didn't have to think about it. So that structure helps us focus our energy on the things that are important. The things that are important. And it's not about being rigid about our structure, then that becomes a problem. Then we're spending all of our time being rigid about our structure. But it's having that structure in place so there's a flow to everything else, because we have work to do. Every day we have lessons to learn. We have things coming our way that we have to have our inner radar on for. And not just our outer third-dimensional tasks, like getting our work done, and whether it's the yard or our business or whatever it is that we're doing, there's our spiritual work that's in the midst of all of that. And that really is more important than getting any of that other stuff done, believe it or not. We put pressure on ourselves thinking, I've got to get this done, I've got to get this done, I've got this assignment to do, that assignment to do, but the real important stuff is in the center of all of that. So our spiritual school has lessons. We have skills to master. We have subjects to master. And the main subject is ourselves, our emotions, our outbursts, and how to manage that, and where is that coming from, and our thought process. Our brain-mind-body system is not real disciplined, and our spiritual discipline, our spiritual responsibility is watching what's going on up there and sorting out what's real and what's not. What's real and what's not. There's a saying that goes, God created man in God's image, and man returned the favor. Right? So we've created this false God in our minds that often sounds like the most critical person that you were closest to growing up. Right? You laugh because you know that's true, right? It's that, whether it was, Mom, Dad, Uncle George, Grandpa Henry, whatever, that critical voice that you soaked up growing up becomes that authority unconsciously that goes around and around in your head. It's the one who hammers you if you didn't do one little thing right, if you didn't make your bed in the morning, or, it's the one that tells you you're not okay somehow, and it's lying to you. And it's lying more than just like alternative facts. It's lying like flat out not true. It's not true about you. How can anything critical about us, I'm not talking about finding those things we need to work on, but the one that tells you you're not okay in any way, shape, or form is not true. It's not true. As a therapist, I think just kind of as a general rule, the feeling that I get from people who come into my office, there's kind of a fear that they enter with, like, I'm here and I know that this person, this therapist I'm coming to see, is going to confirm the negative voice in my head. It's like, I can feel that from people as they come in. It's like going into the dentist, kind of like, I'll speak for myself, going into the dentist going, I know they're going to clean my teeth, but I'm sure they're going to find something else that's going to be expensive and painful, right? So, but that's not it. I look at my people and all they'll say, I don't sleep enough, I don't eat right, I yell at my kids, and I'm completely disorganized, I'm a complete mess. And I'm just like, let's find all those things that you're good at. Let's start there, because that's going to tell us what needs to come next, not the negative voice. We're not going to ever fix that negative voice. We just have to learn not to listen to it anymore. We have to identify that false God that goes on and on and on in our heads telling us we're not okay somehow, Uncle George or whatever you want to call it, and learn how to refocus ourselves on what's true and what's real. If we are, as we believe in unity, if we are really, in essence, that universal energy that not only created our universe as we know it and beyond, and holds us all together, if we are really part of that essence, how can that be anything but universal love and wisdom and support and will and courage and strength? But we don't understand that, right? It's like we're in first grade with that understanding. But that doesn't give us an excuse not to work with it, right? Well, I'm only in first grade. I don't really have to do anything. It's recess all the time, right? It's about practicing. Like, okay, if I know that I'm one with universal wisdom, and I've got a problem in front of me, then I'm going to be able to solve that. But I have to practice being in touch with that universal wisdom. That's part of our mastering. That's part of our learning. But we have to do our part too, right? That's our homework. Our homework is, okay, this is what the teacher said in school today, so let me practice this. What am I doing to practice that? I've got homework to do to master the subject of myself. Because as I master the subject of my human self, there's more space to expand and express that spiritual self that I am also. You know, forgiveness is part of that mastering ourselves. And how do we know that? How do we know forgiveness is like this spiritual lesson in our spiritual school? Because it's around us all the time. So it's got to be there for some reason or another, right? And it's there to help us master ourselves, help us to release some of that negative energy that we carry around, whether it's our parents, our siblings, our children, our neighbors, our other drivers on the road, our pets, whatever. There's forgiveness work to do there. We have our family dog is a poodle, and he, because of his little floppy ears, he gets ear issues, right? And he has his whole little life. He's 11. So he's an old dog now, but he's a lot better about getting the medicine in his ears. But when he was younger, it was my job to put that medicine in his ears, and he did not like it. I don't know who liked it less, him or me, but when he was little, we had some tussles. We had some big tussles. We growled at each other. I didn't bite him back, but, you know, I discovered that there's a fine line between I'm not a violent person and worth it. Really thin line. So I remember one night after about a week of just like, you know, dog bites on my hand and, you know, really going, you know, this is why people leave their dogs on the side of the road. I went, okay, I gotta just like calm myself down here, and this is ridiculous that I'm getting so upset over this dog and his behavior. So, you know, so I did some spiritual work about forgiving him and releasing him, and you know, it's like he's scared, and he's just, you know, it helped me kind of understand his little doggy self a little bit better, and I was able to step back and go, okay, I need to approach this much more calmly than I've been approaching it, because obviously we're feeding on each other, and I am the more evolved species, so maybe I need to, you know, sometimes, most of the times, you know, and then gradually he got more used to it. I got calmer. I learned different ways to give him, but you know, all that forgiveness work is there, and it helped me. It helped me understand, like, wow, people get scared like that too. And so if I'm coming on very strongly to somebody, I need to check in with myself and say, okay, what do I need to do to adjust and to stay above my 5 on the spiritual thermometer? I wish I had that in front of me. I didn't think about that, but on the table next to fellowship, there's little half-sheet handout called the spiritual thermometer. Greg talks about it. I talk about it in classes all the time. This is not a new concept for those of you who've been around for a while, but the spiritual thermometer is a wonderful gauge for checking where we are emotionally, for that emotional mastery that is ours to do. And so the spiritual thermometer sheet out there is a thermometer with measurements 0 to 10. And when we're at a 5, that's kind of our neutral, everyday, bopping along kind of emotional space. Anything below a 5, we're in our emotions. And so we're scared, we're angry, we're sad, we're deliriously happy, which can be a space where we don't make clear decisions sometimes too. So, all of that emotional overload, overwhelm is below a 5, and that's not a great time to make decisions, right? So, but how do we know that? How do we know that? So there's your first or second or third or 1 millionth spiritual school homework assignment, is to pick up one of those spiritual thermometers and use it and check in with yourself on a regular basis throughout the day. Where am I at on the spiritual thermometer? Am I below a 5 or am I above a 5? If I'm above a 5, I'm in my clear thinking space. I feel calm, and the farther up that spiritual thermometer I go, the more in touch I am with that intuitive sense, that connectedness to universal support that's there, universal love, universal wisdom. And I can connect and solve problems, and we can do that. We can do that. We have access to that. We have access to that, just like the first grader has access to the physics book, but they don't know it yet. But if they keep working on their schoolwork and keep learning and keep growing, they get to work up to that physics book someday, whether they like it or not. They will work up to the ability to open that physics book and learn amazing things that's a little bit different than addition and subtraction, and God knows what else they're learning in first grade right now. It's a lot more than I learned when I was in first grade. But we're working our way to more and more understanding of how we operate as human beings. And then our classroom expands, and we get to start understanding, how do we operate as spiritual beings? Because that's a little bit different than simply on the raw human form. There's a lot of lessons. There's a lot. If this infinite energy that created and sustains us, created the universe as we know it and beyond, then we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep growing. There's more and more and more to learn. And we'll end up creating our own universe someday, and we don't even have to worry about that right now. I know we're all just excited about the eclipse tomorrow, not just learning about how to create a universe. There's so much for us to learn and grow, and our job is to be aware of what our lessons are on a daily basis, on a regular basis. If I can master myself, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. So we have that homework to do. We have that homework of knowing what our spiritual structure is every day. We have that homework of being in touch with what's going on inside of us, what's going on in ourselves emotionally, which usually shows up in the body. I've talked about this before. We can tell when we're kind of agitated because something's going on in our body. I'm reading a book right now called, it's by a psychiatrist research called The Body Keeps the Score. Awesome book. Awesome book. The title, pretty much, you just read the book with that title. The Body Keeps the Score. All of our experiences are stored within us, and we carry that around all the time, and our bodies don't lie about what's going on with us. So, so I can say all I want to that, I'm not nervous about doing the talk today, but my stomach is saying something different, right? So my head can be telling me something, and my body goes, yeah, right, pal. Nice try. That was smooth. So, but listening in gives us that information. Like, okay, my assignment is to master my emotions, so my research is, okay, what the heck is going on inside of me? When am I triggered? When I'm triggered, what do I do about that? Oh, another worksheet. Oh my gosh, I'm giving you homework. Is anybody keeping track? I'll hand out the syllabus another time. But so another worksheet that's by Fellowship Hall is that 3-step agitated energy process. I use this in my practice all the time. I use it myself all the time too, but I use it with my people all the time too. And it's a 3-step process. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. 1, what is the emotion I'm feeling? How do I know I'm feeling emotion? Because something's going on in my body. And even if I can't feel it in my body, I know it in my head. So what is the emotion I'm feeling? What is that emotion telling me? What is the emotion telling me? Because it's got a story. Every emotion has a story. Sometimes that story is accurate, sometimes it's not. Just because it's going through our head doesn't mean it's true. So what is the emotion telling me? What's the story? Well, okay, so I'm feeling nervous about doing the talk today. Okay, so that's my emotion. So what story is it? I'm going to screw up. I'm going to say something stupid that nobody's going to learn anything. Everybody's going to sit there and look at me like, is a picnic starting yet? Okay, so that's fine. And then the third step is, what's the new perspective I can take that will calm me? What's the new perspective? Because I'm gauging through my body, right? So what's the new perspective I can take that will help me feel calm and centered? So then I listen for that. I don't have to make it up. I can just listen for it. Well, what's the truth? The truth is, I may screw up. Okay, so what else? What else? This is like an hour of my lifetime. We're all going to move on. You guys can pat me on the head on the way out and say, ooh, hope he never has her speak again, whatever. It's all good, but listening for that, what's a new perspective I can take that will calm me, and just putting it in a different perspective, because when our emotions are up, they feel like they're all right here, right? And I'm kind of getting into my class that I'm going to be teaching on September 6th called Mastering Your Emotions. So this is a little taste. Come on out and join me on that Wednesday. But that's our job, is to monitor, to manage, to be aware of what's going on inside, and to learn how to discern what's true and what's real and what is not. That's part of our job on this. Forgiveness is part of our job on this, in this school of life. And we're not in this alone. This isn't like, okay, all the first graders are in this classroom, all the second graders are in this classroom. The third and fourth grade always gets kind of like combined together, so they're just kind of this mishmash of ages over here, and then we've got fifth grade and sixth grade, and we're not like that. We're like the Montessori classroom, right? We've got all ages, all grade levels, all skill levels, all together, all supporting each other. The big kids are supporting the little kids, and the little kids are supporting the big kids, and we benefit from the strengths of each other. And we've all had to go through every lesson. Maybe it's been over a long period of time, so today it looks like, well, that person's really good at meditation, and I really stink at meditation. Maybe they can help me out. Give me some pointers. How do you meditate? How do you focus your mind? How do you still your thoughts? And that person can say, well, it's not always easy to still your thoughts, but don't give up. What I do is have a focus where I keep, bringing my wild thoughts back to something to focus on. And then my mind goes off again, but I just keep bringing it back. And I bring it back as many times as I can. And the other student can say, wow, that's really awesome. And then the great meditator can say, yeah, thanks, but you know what? I've got this forgiveness thing, and I've noticed you're really good at forgiveness. Can you help me out here? Because I'm ready to leave my dog on the side of the road. I don't know what to do. Oh yeah, I've got this great process. It's called the 7 Steps for Successful Life Transitions. It's a great little forgiveness process, also out by the That's 3. You guys are writing this down, right? That's 3. 3 worksheets out there. Homework. And oh wow, great. I didn't know about that process, and it really helps you kind of process your feelings and everything. Oh, awesome, great. We are all here helping each other. We're all here helping each other. One big Montessori spiritual classroom. So we've got our structure, we've got our lessons, We've got our homework, all to help us be more proficient in that which we came here to be proficient in. And the main thing is ourselves. The main thing is being proficient in ourselves. Nothing else really matters. Everything else is just the classroom setting. So, as we go about our spiritual school days, we wake up in the morning and we first become aware that we're awake. That's when our school day begins. So set your intention every morning. Set your intention for your day. Say your pledge of allegiance to your growing, expanding heart. I pledge allegiance to my growing and expanding heart. Together? I pledge allegiance to my growing and expanding heart. And just say, thank you, God, for helping me be aware of the lessons that are coming to me today. And don't just help me be aware of them, because it's one thing to see them, but then Uncle George goes in my head going, oh yeah, there you go, there's that forgiveness work again. You thought you forgave, but no, you really didn't, because you don't really want to forgive, and blah, 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 blah. And Uncle George says all those negative things to us. So we don't want to just be aware of what there is for us to do. We want to be aware of the support that is there as we are going through those lessons. Okay, you're showing me this lesson. What do I need to do about it? What's my homework? And we are supported. We are supported. And look around. Look around. You guys are all here. You're like-minded people. Look around you and find somebody to connect with. Go out for coffee. It's kind of like, finding that spiritual friend is kind of like, kind of like dating, right? You go out for coffee and you go, yeah, this person can support me spiritually. Or, yeah, this person, I like this person, I care about them, but I'm not clicking with them. Let me keep looking. Let me keep looking for those people who I can surround myself with, and we can support each other. And this is a really awesome pool to draw from right here. So, as we transition into our picnic time, recess, let's take this and open our hearts once again to that inner spiritual support that we access through our quiet times. We access from the center of ourselves. Opening our minds and hearts, our arms to those lessons coming to us. Sometimes we like them, sometimes we don't. And it's okay, it's all okay. It's okay if we don't like them, we still embrace them. And we say, thank you, God. Thank you for that universal love, wisdom, strength that is always accessible to us. Thank you for our spiritual structure that reminds us to access that inner resource. Thank you for the support we have when we don't even know it's there. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for moving us through our spiritual lessons. And thank you for the growth, the expansion, the ability to express and love and serve because of all the things we've learned in this school of life. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. Amen. And we continue that movement of opening to that spirit within, that infinite spirit, that infinite love, infinite wisdom, infinite support that we access from the very center of our being. We touch in during this time, letting everything else go, letting go right now of our daily tasks, to-dos, activities. And we turn within to experience, to get in touch with what that feels like, that center of our beingness. Wherever you feel that center most, whether it's the center of your heart, the center of your body, feeling an expansion, moving beyond your body, however you experience that. Or if you need to just make something up and imagine that feeling, what would it be like to experience infinite love? Whatever that feels like to you, that sensation that is within, not from the outside, but from within. Bring that vision, that sensation into your focus right now, your awareness. What does it feel like to be connected to all? Every moment provides us with opportunities to learn something, to grow, to share, to serve. And as we open ourselves to that experience within, we are more aware of that which is ours to learn and our ways to serve on the outside. Yes, we are here to learn and grow. Yes, we have lessons every day coming to us. And yes, we are supported every step of the way. And our job is to access that support from within. And perhaps find that support outside of us, but only as directed from that center of our beingness. Collective understanding, our collective awareness that we are all in this classroom together. We hold compassion, understanding, lightheartedness, and support for one another, because we are all growing. So whether it's with exasperation or gratitude, we get in touch with that center of our being every day that accesses that inner support. And right now in this moment, we spend a few moments just feeling what it feels like to be supported unconditionally by the universe that knows everything, knows how to support us, how to love us, how to teach us. thank you, God. Thank you for that ongoing support. Thank you that every day is a new opportunity to learn and grow. And thank you that we're supported every step of the way. Whether we feel like it or not, we are indeed supported in ways we know not. And we say thank you, God.